founder of Diman.com. And what Diman does, we've created a network of craftsmen. Today we gather more than 400 craftsmen in France that work with all the different areas of craftsmanship. So we work with leather goods, objects in wood, glass, marble and so on. And we have two activities, one which is B2C, and we have our own brand on Diman.com where we sell our creations to our clients. And we also work in B2B with many luxury brands and fashion brands who come to us to outsource the production of some of their creation and use our know-how on how to work with craftsmanship. So we are based in Paris. All our products are designed in Paris and made in France. And we really want to help craftsmanship and great French fabrication enters the 21st century, enters the digital age. So if you go on Diman.com, you'll see our creation. They are very colorful, very light, very cool, very fun, and we really want to be this luxury brand for the digital natives, for the generation Y, and be a different kind of luxury brand.
So have you already raised a lot of money, and how have you done that, and how much more do you need?
So far we've raised 2 million euros of venture capital. From two VC funds here in Paris and also from the European Union. So we've raised 1 million when we launched the company, and we raised again 1 million recently. And now we're using this to develop our company and our brand.
It's fantastic. How long has your business been around for?
So we've launched Diman 3 years ago. But actually the name Diman is much older than that, because Diman is the family name of my great-grandfather, who was called Félix Diman, and who indeed had the same kind of business as we do today, because he had also a network of craftsmen, and he would create objects for his clients all around the world. And so basically 3 years ago we decided to do the same thing as he used to do and revive the brand, and that's how we created Diman.com.
What is your background yourself?
Myself, I graduated from business school.
Which one?
HEC Paris, also from engineering school, École Polytechnique. And I've worked in finance, in investment fund for 2 years. But in parallel of that, I've been a luxury blogger for the past 8 years, and I've written more than 2,000 articles on the digital transition of luxury brands, how you can imagine a new kind of luxury in digital age with the internet, e-commerce, social media and so on. So that's been a real passion for me for the last couple of years. So unfortunately it's only in French, but we plan to make a business and a good company out of this passion with Diman. Our particularity or specificity is that we are an online luxury brand that is able to create all kinds of products. So a big part of our collections are leather goods, because people love luxury leather goods, and because it sells really well. But very often we create also goods in wood, in metal, in glass. Here you have the example of this hourglass that we've created with a switch inside, and when you turn the switch, you can really live the dream of someone that is obsessed with time, which is to be able to stop time by switching this switch. So this is one example of something we do in glass. We've created ashtrays in marble and metal. So really we are really comfortable working with all kinds of savoir-faire and craftsmanship. But it's true that a big part of our products are leather goods, because they sell really well and people love them.
And it gets more complex if you go into jewelry, fine jewelry, and the people buying online, dealing with stones. I guess, what is your limit in terms of?
Well, we don't have any limit. Everything that a client would ask us, we would create for this client. So we've created many bespoke jewelry for our clients that found us online, and then we created for them those creations.
But do you give them any artistic direction, or if it's ugly, you'll still make it for them?
Almost half of the team. We've never been asked, so I don't know, but usually we like to do beautiful things, beautiful made. But sometimes, of course, tastes are different. Some people like this or that color. We try to do all the time things that we think are beautiful and we would love it. But we are really at the service of our clients, so we've never been asked to do something ugly, but I don't know.
I love that name, Republic of Le Marais. Is that a brand you created yourself?
No, actually, so that's one of the products we sell on Diman.com. It's a passport holder, so you can use to put your passport. And in fact, when you order it, instead of putting United States of America or République Française or so on, we decided to create Republic of all the areas in Paris. So you have République of Le Marais, you have République of Saint-Germain, République of Neuilly-sur-Seine, République of Montmartre, and you can choose. It's our own Brexit, you know, like the Brexit of all the area in Paris. So if you want to live for it, you can use this.
So it's the first sommelier at home. So like a sommelier, he made a selection for you. So we have 25 different wines in that format, in that flask. It's wine by the glass. It's 10 centiliters, the equivalent of one glass. And the sommelier brings to you the best conditions. So we made divine. It's the perfect glass of wine in less 1 minute. So each wine have a RFID tag right here with the information of the temperature, and you put it on the machine. That one. Let's go. So when you put the flask into the machine recognizes which wine it is. Set up the temperature, and when it's ready, you press on the flask, you put the glass underneath, and you have 1 minute later your glass of wine with the right temperature and the equivalent of 3 hours of decantation in less 1 minute.
So people have to buy the kit?
Yes.
And the bottles separately, or because once the machine has told them about that they don't need the machine anymore.
Yes. You need to have the flask from us with the RFID tag to.
Can't you just stick a normal bottle upside down and the machine can be smart enough to understand?
No, not yet. We tried to have a single serve experience, like an espresso or over beer tender, to have the glass of one glass of wine, because it's difficult today to have one glass of wine at home. When you only have a bottle, there is no solution to have only a glass of wine. When you open the bottle, you have to finish it.
And so these are all very particularly good wines.
Yes, it's from our selection, and it's from €2 to €16.
Yeah.
The average price is 5. So there is different range of quality, and it's wine from all over.
And do you have a real sommelier who has been evaluating this and programming the machine, or is that yourself?
Yes, it's our enologist and some sommeliers. We tried the machine with some best sommeliers of the world, and I think we have the Divine has really his place in the wine industry.
Well, you must have spent an incredible amount of money on the machine, on the bottles, on the leaflets, on everything. It's a big investment.
Yes.
Is this the first launch now, or are you still raising money to launch it?
We have already raised money for it. There is already 400 machines in customers at home, particularly. And now we have raised 1.6 million euros to continue the development, the commercial development, and to work on the future Divine.
That's incredible. And was this done with crowdfunding, or?
Yes, we have done crowdfunding with product. It was Ulule, the platform Ulule, it's the equivalent of Kickstarter, and in equity crowdfunding Proximia, it's a French equity crowdfunding platform. So it was really good for us to we raised with crowdfunding at this round 345k euros.
Was this your own idea?
Yes,
really?
I'm one of 3 founders from Divine.
And what was your background before this?
I am an engineer. I was in aeronautics, but completely different. It's more the idea is come from our customer experience. Have lots of bottles in our cellars, and it's always difficult to when you want a glass of wine, you can't do that from a bottle.
But that means you have to decant, so you have to ask the wine estates to actually fill for you.
Yes.
Each one, and then the only difference, you can't have the bushel one. So it has to be drank in a certain amount of time.
Yes, it's 3 years.
3 years.
But it's quite long for our customers now, because it's like 3 or 6 months the turnover of a wine. So
and then for the consumer, they have to buy the machine,
yes.
Which will cost them how much?
It's for Divine it's 890.
Okay, and then once they have the machine, is it online that you will send them new kits or new wines to try?
Yes, you can buy it one by one, and you choose exactly your bar, your wine bar at home. So it's between the range, it's from 2 euros to 16 euros. The average price is 5 euros.
And do you think that at some point you'll have your own retail outlet, a bit like Nespresso have done?
Yes, it's maybe something we are thinking of it, but it's really expensive. But in our office in Nantes, in France, it's already it, because we have a concept store when you can buy the products.
Excellent. Yes. Fantastic.
What this does is, of course, it creates a huge time efficiency. You don't need to bring any skill set to the table to create content looking like this. All you need to know is how to type and then how to drag and drop pictures into a box, and the rest is done by the engine. And the greatest thing
is all the sites will look the same for everyone.
No, they don't, because we took editorial content, editorial magazines as an inspiration. And of course, you can say, well, GQ and Vogue, for example, they have a similar layout, but the content in the end makes the difference. So for example, if you, well, this is not my computer, so I'm gonna have to see. Yeah, maybe if we just film this one. It looks completely different from that one, just because the content and the stories and of course the CI is completely different from the other magazines. And the clue is, that's why we mostly work with e-commerce partners, that the magazine software allows you to directly shop from the magazine environment. You can directly put items into your basket without being redirected to another page, and that of course drives conversion and sales massively.
Okay, so you're basically using, it's like what a lot of magazines are doing now, that the publishers are becoming e-commerce sites.
Yeah, true.
And brands are becoming publishers. So
Shop, for example, we work with them together. That's one of our partners. Maybe they're going to pop up soon here.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much what we took is we were inspired by the idea of a blog, but by seeing content becoming more and more important, but also taking up lots and lots of resources and manpower hours, but not really driving sales that much to kind of draw the conclusion that it's overall worth it. And we wanted to take the topic because, of course, brand awareness and community building are huge factors to spread the word about your brand and get people involved. And we wanted to facilitate that process while still driving sales. And that's what we came up with automating most of the design process.
But then the only measurement criteria here would be in terms of sales rather than how people feel about the content.
Not only. Well, sales is of course a huge factor, right? Yeah. And the other side is we save so much time that some people even say, yeah, we don't really hire freelance designers anymore because the engine takes care of most of that. And what we also try to do is, in the next few months, we're going to roll out software that is going to use the data we collect by tracking people's movement through the magazine to give them completely personalized content. So, for example, somebody who's a bit older, maybe they will have bigger fonts so they can read it more easily, or a woman will get different content from a man, say, and it's completely automated. Nobody needs to lift a finger to get this done, to get this customized experience on the road.
And are you linking them to content sites that they can then select, or do they have to find that themselves?
Sometimes, so most of our clients just take care of the content themselves. Yeah. They write and research the content and create it with the backend, which is really easy to use. in some cases, we create the content for our partners as well.
So the way you're presenting this to people is instead of just having a boring catalog e-commerce site,
exactly,
have it as a kind of editorial site where you can click on something of interest. Basically.
Yeah, and of course it's much more dynamic than a classical blog where you have post after post, you immediately see what's new, and what the automation of the design process also does is, for example, there's very little happening that's new, maybe just one story a week. The complete magazine, the entire layout will change automatically, will look fresh even though not much happened, and that of course inspires people to spend more time on the site because they feel like a lot of stuff happened and maybe they will click on stuff that before they didn't notice, and in the end of course time on site equals better conversion because the longer you stay, the more you're going to end up buying.
This is your client list?
No, this is just a small selection. We've got loads and loads more clients, for example Speedo as well, or Jack Wolfskin quite recently signed up with us. Then there's a big media company in Germany, which I cannot yet name, but one of the biggest players in the tech market. OBI, who's a home improvement company. RTL, big television company in Germany. That's just a few off the top of my head.
Right now we're working with Saks, Coach, as well as Toys R Us, and obviously we're chatting with LVMH as well. When retailers have rolled out iPads before in stores, what the issue that they were facing is that they'd build a custom document, they'd work with either build it in-house or they would hire a custom dev shop to do it. And the issue there is that once they rolled it out in stores, they'd have great ROI and they'd see a great adoption. But the issue was that each time they would have to build out a new use case, they'd have to start all over again from scratch. And at the end, at the end of it, they'd have several different apps that they're each logging into. What Tulip does is we solve all that. So we make it all accessible through one platform. So now store associates are able to use any custom apps that the retailer's already built, plus they can leverage our own roadmap and our own custom modules to basically sell more effectively and lift sales. So a lot of our retailers are seeing a double-digit lift in revenue just from, or a double-digit lift in sales at the store level just from deploying our functionalities.
But is there any link to mobile phones before they come in? Do you have this kind of omni-channel linking? Or is it only for the sales guy in the store when someone's coming in?
Our platform doesn't necessarily do that, but we have integrations that allow retailers to do that. So like right now we're working with a company called Retail Next, where they track in-store analytics, they track who's coming into the store, which stores are performing really well, and so we have an integration for that, and we make it available on the iPad. But that's not going to be available for the store associate. That would be more so for the store manager or head office to look at. Right. We're actually still a fairly. The technology team has been together for quite some time. They worked at several other companies before starting at Tulip. So we started in 2013, and we've been aggressively in market for about 10 months. And in that time, we've gotten all the customers that I just listed off. So it's going really well.
And it's not something which is to fulfill basic needs of the people. It's to surprise people and to create the need for products. It's not to fulfill with product a given need. So we need to come up with new ideas, new ways of selling these ideas and communicating these ideas. So in terms of communication, product design and retail, we always have to come up with new ideas. To that extent, the teams within the brands always have this entrepreneur of ideas way of doing their own activities. It's a family spirit. It starts with Mr. Arnaud and the family. It's a family-owned business. It started with the family. Actually, all the businesses started with a man and his family, or a woman and his family, and her family, sorry. It's being ethical. It's also being collaborative. It's also being frugality. And last is to enjoy what we are doing. Anything that may surprise you here, please raise your hand, but I think we share a lot of attitudes with what you may have. And last, there is nothing certain in our world. Sometimes we guess on a success and it's a big failure, sometimes we don't know and it's a big success. So the try and learn is absolutely key to achieve success and long-time standing for our brands. We get used to that, so when we don't know, we go to the market and we try. Sephora, I don't know if they pointed out in their presentation, but it's a very good example of this. It's retail, it's a leader, but they always come up with new ideas for presenting and communicating new products and product categories within their store. It's quite amazing. Agility, the world goes fast and faster, nothing new. And I said, we are a big corporation. Agility is one of the key elements we keep track on. We don't want to be too heavy in what we do, too heavy with organization, too heavy with long processes to make decisions. We go, we see, if it works, we continue, if it doesn't, we do something else. Thank you very much.